Testing, testing, testing. This is the People's Brexit live stream. Welcome one, welcome all. Now, various people are going to be coming in on this pretty quickly. So let's just put some shouts out. So into Aslan's Army, live now. Another Patriot chat. Okay, people, so the shouts out there. And let's have a look at the People's Brexit page. Just get this to pop up. I can get the live stream itself up. My name is John White. I'm the lead admin of Aslan's Army. For the last 10 years, I have been an independent campaigner for Brexit. And in the light of the current situation and the failure of the British government to deliver on Brexit Day, I am now presenting for every single Brexiteer, every Leave voter, every freedom-loving patriot in the country. The People's Brexit, here we go, is now here. And we have a campaign, we have a plan of action. It's particularly to be intense in the next 2 weeks. And this is what this live stream is here to introduce. Now, while people come in, I want to get straight to what the People's Brexit is all about. So, allow me to introduce this petition on change.org, but this is not a petition. This is a notice, and by this notice, we are serving notice on the European Union. I'm going to demonstrate this in action over on my Twitter. You will see that I'm following the instructions that were given in this text, and I am tweeting particularly powerful EU individuals: Jean-Claude Juncker, Michel Barnier, Emmanuel Macron, Martin Schulz, Guy Verhofstadt, the EU Commission, the EU Parliament, the EU Council, the EU Cult Press, the European Central Bank, the European auditors, the European President Donald Tusk are all being tweeted directly right now since 2300. This one is for Jean-Claude Juncker. The People's Brexit serves you notice. That is what the People's Brexit campaign is doing. We are serving notice on every single aspect of the institutions of the European Union, asserting the People's Brexit. We are free Britons. Okay, now I'm not going to get into reading the text itself because I want people to get this up front in their minds. So this is completely new. The campaign has launched within the last 30 minutes. We're already starting to move on the signatures. We're already getting tweets out. We are on the go. The People's Brexit serves notice on the EU. We revoke you. We renounce EU citizenship. Notice of the People's Brexit from the peoples of Free Britain to the institutions and officials of the European Union, including Donald Tusk, Jean-Claude Juncker, Michel Barnier, Emmanuel Macron, Angela Merkel, the European Commission, the Council of the European Union, the European Parliament, the European Council, which is not the same thing, by the way. If anyone thought the Council of the European Union, the European Council, which is different ways of saying the thing, no, they're not. The Court of Justice of the European Union, the European Central Bank, the Court of Auditors, any attendees of Bilderberg since its formation, and all other individuals and organisations identified with the EU. Notice. This text is also on Steemit. It's also on People's Brexit Facebook page. So straight away, we're putting tools in place so we can go hit the ground running. Notice, we are not your citizens. We revoke EU citizenship. We enforce the People's Brexit. We, the undersigned, reject the flag, the passport, and all legal status associated with citizen of the European Union. We declare we are not EU citizens and demand the EU stops trying to unlawfully impose itself on us. We reject you. No means no. Today, 29th of March 2019, at 2300, our political establishment has betrayed us by failing to deliver Brexit as enshrined in UK law, proving they allow UK law to be overridden by EU law and are derelict and unfit for duty. Parliament has proved itself to be a chamber of useless non-entities whose only instinct is to try to put things off and buy time for another vote in desperation, trying to get out of carrying out the people's will. They are derelict and in dishonour and have failed the British people. This should be no surprise. The British political class has been systemically weakened with spineless careerists for decades. This is trough-serving administrators for EU directives, not people with any backbone or ability to lead. There are notable exceptions, but they are far from the majority and are drowning in the failure and nonentity of the rest. We will bring them to account, sack the useless failures, support the decent ones, and rebuild our British democracy to be worthy of a name again through bringing reformation. The European Union should not think that rotten chamber will protect you from now having to deal directly with us. There is no deal you can make with them that they can deliver, and the failures will soon now be out of office for good. Your only option is to bow to our will. You cannot and will not rule here. We have been more than tolerant. The entire history of our nation's connection to your European Union is one of fraud and deceit on your part, as you have tried to socially engineer Britain into being a compliant vassal state region in your superstate. From the start, the vile pervert Ted Heath was compromised by his depravity, known about by German intelligence, and what a jolly game it was for 40 years, saying one thing while doing another, when all along the goal was the destruction of Britain as a sovereign entity. All the way up to Gordon Brown trying to steal the country when he signed Lisbon without providing the pledged referendum. That it has come to this, and we now impose the people's Brexit divorce on you, is entirely your fault. The EU's plan to assimilate Free Britain has failed. We know. You will never get that knowledge out of circulation now. We will never submit, and we will tolerate the farcical circus of media and politics no longer. Since our great lawful referendum victory and decision to leave, we, the majority, have been abused in countless ways and treated with contempt by the Europhile lickspittles in liberal society and the media. But you have not broken our will or deceived us for one moment. 33 months is enough. We will no longer tolerate the lies and deceptions of the European Union, a disgraceful legacy that now ends. Do you think we have not been listening? This very week, Mr. Tusk lied about pro-EU crowd sizes in London on the 23rd March. It was no more than 400,000, not 1 million. The petition Mr. Tusk cited at the same time, also a lie, 80% signed by foreign bot farms. We are not fooled with such tired and predictable media tropes. Also this very week, the EU passes legislation, including Article 13, that will place the internet under levels of police-state censorship and control that would shame China, North Korea or Saudi Arabia all across the EU, destroying the internet freedom of all Europeans. Why else do you do this but to cover EU blushes and protect the profits of your crony capitalist corporate friends? Mussolini defined fascism as the union of corporate and state power. The European Union has bent its effort to perfecting that vision in the name of St. Kalergi. We know who you are. While the EU also says nothing about the French government using chemical weapons against its own people. Morally derelict, unfit, corrupt, we reject you. Just some recent examples from the last few days of the legacy of abuses stretching back decades, treating the free people of Britain and the whole of Europe with contempt and profound, grievous disrespect. Powered by foreign European money, the main resistance lies all the time, as does the fake news BBC and other media and the mouths of European Union officials, while working in cahoots with tech platforms to censor, ghost chill, demonise and ban any and all democratic opposition. No more! Enough! We directly enforce the following notice on you. We, the undersigned, are not your citizens. You have no claim on us, and this is your final chance to recognise this, respect our democracy, and throw the United Kingdom out of your European Union on April 12th. Give it up now. British politicians are facing a difficult future, for the people will bring them to account. If the EU persists in trying to unlawfully impose its foreign government upon us any longer, we shall not stop with bringing just UK politicians to account, but ensure our attention is turned to exposing the corrupt and tyrannical all across the EU. We didn't want to make Brexit about taking down the EU. We simply wanted to take back control of our nation. But you force our hand with your attitude. From this day forth, every day you unlawfully try to grasp us in your statute regulation tentacles is a day you will be brought to account by the free British people. Every corruption, every compromise, every fattened pocket and well-swelled expense account, every dot and comma of everything to do with every one of you who comprise the body of the European Union will be sought out, and every single sniff of corruption exposed to the world. We will ensure that you will be forced to operate in the full light of the truth, unless and until you let Britain be free and drop your unwanted and rejected ambitions to seize control of our nation. Dragging down the EU will become the mission and the responsibility of every freedom-loving Briton. Every one of us who signs this notice from this day forth makes clear we are not and will never be EU citizens. We refute and reject the EU and all of its works. Keep your unwanted ambition and your false legal framework off our God-given freedom. It is time now for the people's Brexit. We reclaim any and all consent to be governed, real or implied, by the European Union for now and for all time. We demand you notice our notice and comply with our will. Britain is free and will be staying so. Do not waste our time with talk of Britain doesn't know what it wants. The people decided. Parliament promised to implement our choice. Parliament has failed. This is not the people's problem, and we will now impose the people's Brexit on both the UK government and the European Union. Neither will we hear more emotional anarchism from the bedwetting howls of Remainers. We insist on rule of law and will settle for nothing less. We stand on our God-given common law rights and will not be falsely enslaved to a foreign power. no matter how much Remainers call us mean names for standing on our birthrights. We have had the people's vote. It's the ballots that count, and the ballots that were counted almost 3 years ago. We have been patient, but Remainers have hardly convinced us of the seriousness or maturity of their arguments, nor that any rerun of the 2016 referendum is either necessary or could possibly be conducted fairly. Going backwards is the solution of cowardice and will help none of us. Now is the time to implement the people's decision. Politicians are incapable. They must now step out of the way and let the market solve the issues in the best interests of all. Further notice, if you do not eject Britain from the European Union by 2300 on April the 12th, 2019, and drop all claims on British sovereignty, we shall be instituting class action lawsuits to sue both the European Union and the British government for compensatory refund in full of our proportional share of all monies unlawfully paid to the EU since we declared our freedom on June the 23rd, 2016. The longer you refuse to comply with our lawful declaration of the people's Brexit, the more it's going to cost you. Be certain of it. There is yet time for you to take the better choice towards a better future, with Britain as your friend and ally. Show us now that you are capable of better, but there is the route to the same future so many hope Europe's politicians to be capable of making. We have made our choice. We have served the EU notice. Now you must choose. You have until April the 12th to finally prove to the free British people who you are. John White, Aslan's Army, the free people of Free Britain, and freedom-loving patriots across the world. Okay, having got that done, I'm just going to start saying hello to some people, and then I'm going to come back and I'm going to look at the instructions with the campaign. We're going to talk about that, make sure that that's really well understood by everybody. So who we got? Lisa de la Luna. Hello, Lisa. Hiya, Fred. Hiya, Dean. Hiya, Brian Barlow. Hello, Iedra. Hello, the People's Brexit. Hello, Stuart Diggs Godfrey. Hello, Ronnie D. Grant. Bless you, Ronnie. We've been through a lot of Brexit together. Okay, great. So we've got a fair bit of people in here. Cool, brilliant. Let's come back to this for a moment. Okay, so I'm just going to have a quick swig of some coffee here for a moment before we dig into the next bit. Now, I hope that that text was clear. It's certainly got some welly in it, and I'm now going to look at the instructions which are provided with the petition. So let's come back to it. Okay. Instructions. Sign as you would any change.org petition. Okay, so that's your first thing. And then all the things that you can usually do on change.org, like you can reshare it to other social media accounts that you might have. Also with change.org, you can bump a quid in it to get it promoted. So if you've got a quid to spare, you know, give it a bump. If enough people put a quid on it, we suddenly get thousands of views coming in. So that's worthwhile over change.org. Okay, now we then have a substantial list of Twitter accounts. I could have gone on, right, but the top ones are the most important. These are the embodiments of the EU itself. We've got the EU President, Donald Tusk, Jean-Claude Juncker, Barnier, Macron, Schulz, Verhofstadt, the Commission, the Parliament, the Council, the Court of Justice, the Central Bank, the Court of Auditors. So I've already done a tweet off my Twitter to all of those. I haven't done all of them because I'm not looking to get a Twitter ban. So don't try and do it all at once. Yeah, do 5, take half an hour, do 5 more. Just get them done. Then we've got Nigel Farage, means leave. LBC, RT, BBC, Sky News, Channel 4. I'll put some friends in. Sean Hannity, Lionel Media, Seb Gorka, Rasim Hassan, Paul Joseph Watson, Katie Hopkins, and some press that might be friendly, Express, Westminster, Rebel Media, Political Light. Now I stopped there because I thought that was enough to ask everybody who signs a petition to do. And I just want you to all think about this, right? If everybody does that, and all of these accounts are going to get deluged with thousands of posts. If we get this rolling right, I want everyone to see the potential here. Doing these retweets, and I'm doing Twitter because it's Twitter that shapes the public mood quickly, and we have a limited window. We have to hit hard with the people's Brexit and make a big splash with our notice and get attention and grab hold of the debate inside the next 2 weeks. It can be done. Aslan's army is going for it. We're doing this because this is the situation that we are now in, because Parliament has failed to deliver the no deal that UK law says should have occurred 50 minutes ago. We have a window of opportunity. They are weak. They are vulnerable. They are not all of one mind. If we push them now, we can do it. The People's Brexit says now is the time. Pressure the EU. Recognise the People's Brexit. We are out with no deal. And there's Barnier. Brexit, no deal likely on April 12th. Yeah. Well, we're not going to sit around for likely. We're going to give this a damn good shove. And I hope that everybody who listens to this live stream, who's ever done anything for Brexit, will get behind this, will get their name on it, and let's see, it's time that the people of Britain stuck it directly to the EU and bypassed our useless Parliament. Sort this lot out first, get their tentacles off the whole of our body politic, and then we can start to deal with our domestic problems, because we know a general election is now unavoidable, and we're doing it for the future. Okay, back to the petition for a moment. So we've got retweeting those. I re-emphasise this here. Signwithchange.org text, tweet link to all the above accounts. Always use the People's Brexit hashtag. Do that and they will be bombarded by hundreds, then thousands of organic messages from all directions, impossible to ignore. Give this campaign your very best between now and April 12th especially. Every effort counts. It's up to you to do your bit to make this campaign a triumph for all of us. Godspeed, patriots. Brexit, WTO Brexit, our Britain, our Brexit, the people's Brexit, make Britain great again, the Great Awakening, where we go one, we go all. Okay, so I want to know any questions at this point, because I don't want to make this live stream longer than it needs to be, but we can hang out. We can hang out for a few minutes. I think that covers the information. You know, we're just going to bang this out there and we're going to put this all right in their faces. And, you know, once you've done the sort of minimum that we suggest, then obviously, you know, the sky is the limit and you can just go nuts. So, you know, question times, people. Any questions? My thoughts on exactly what might happen next. Well, Ronnie, they've, strictly speaking, they've got another 2 weeks. They might try some way at trying to pass just the withdrawal agreement part, but I think that's probably pretty dead. I think Parliament's just going to try and run for a second referendum, you know, and you know, see if the EU will put up with them doing it. And I think we've got a chance now to go direct to the second referendum, and you know, directly attack that and go, don't bother, because it isn't going to get you an answer, and this lot won't be able to deliver on it anyway, because there's just no way that we are going back in the box. The people's Brexit is real, and we're delivering it now. So obviously what we're pushing for is to get the EU to wash its hands of us and cut us loose on the 12th of April. Now, if that doesn't happen, we'll be going into a 2-year period of vacillating. We will completely rampage domestic politics. The Conservative and Labour parties will cease to exist as we know them at the moment. So, you know, what the picture might actually look like at the end of any extension, God alone knows. Best thing to do, let's get ourselves out now, out clean. I hope that answered that question. Anything else coming up, gang? Theresa May is having papers served in the morning. Yeah, there's all sorts of stuff going on, Jennifer. I absolutely agree. We're going to be keeping our eyes open, and we're going to damn well be supporting things, reporting on things. But the most crucial thing of all is to get signatures on this change.org notice petition. But every single signature there, that is our leverage. Every single like and follow of a page, you know. So this is it, people. We've put this campaign together. We're presenting it to you now. There is nothing to stop you getting your shoulder behind this and giving this a damn good shove and standing with the people's Brexit, you know, especially in the next 2 weeks, and go and put this right in the face of all these muggings in the European Parliament and elsewhere, you know, and everybody else, and, you know, just go mad. Get this message out there. It's real. It's alive. The people's Brexit campaign has begun. Okay, I'm going to wind that down there now. So thank you, everybody. Oh, how many signatures do we need? Well, let's aim for 17 million. That would be a nice, clear message. Just hundreds, thousands, tens of thousands, hundreds of thousands. We could certainly hit 1 million in 2 weeks. Yeah, we will. That's why we need to push back hard and make them look stupid. And we can push this hard against UK politicians too and go, well, you may not have a solution, but we do. The people's Brexit, thank you very much. Watch this space for more. God bless, Patriots.